Hi everyone. Okay, so we left off. We left the part 5 of lecture 4, just in the middle of this slide. Okay, so we're gonna just carry on. So just where we are at the Health and Wellbeing Boards, that's where we stopped in the last recording. Okay, so Health and Wellbeing Boards are the forum where the key leaders from health and care systems work together to improve the health and wellbeing outcomes of their local population and reduced health inequalities. They will also undertake a joint strategic needs assessment and develop a joint health and wellbeing strategy for their population, which informs planning and consequent commissioning. This is information that should be developed with service users and providers and shared with markets so providers and communities can develop responsive and good quality services that meet specific and specified outcomes. So this is shared through the market position statement, and also they liaise with other organisations. So this is just an example of the more outer layer of Bronfenbrenner's model the government approaches. So in terms of promoting public health, well-being and developing preventative approaches, it really requires kind of conceptualizing and working more holistically. And holistically is really important. That's what the model's kind of all about. And it's inevitable that this would mean working with a number of different organizations, professionals and sectors, and obviously using a range of research as well. But really, developing good partnerships is fundamental if we are to achieve holistic well-being across society. Okay, so just to reassure you, this last section, this last part 6 of the lecture will be shorter, and we're coming to the end. Okay, so what is public health? The government accepts the Faculty of Health's definition as the science and art of promoting and protecting health and well-being, preventing ill health and prolonging life through the organised efforts of society. So very similar kind of definition to the kind of well-being, but obviously a little bit more formal and a more medical based to a certain degree. There are 3 domains of health: health improvement, which includes people's lifestyles as well as inequalities in health and wide social influences of health, and health protection, so including infectious diseases, environmental hazards and emergency preparedness, and health services, including service planning, efficiency audit and evaluation. But generally here, okay, there's obviously quite a heavy edge on this in terms of the medical model, but it's health improvement that really relates to the well-being agenda. So improving happiness and all aspects of a person's development, their lifestyle, and obviously health is one aspect of that. Okay, so well-being and public health in the UK. So the government has set out a particular definition of well-being, and they use a broad definition of health that encompasses both physical, mental health, as well as well-being. So this means that well-being is an important aspect of public health agenda. So they're not only just interested in whether or not people are ill or have health conditions. Public health workers are also interested in how healthy and well our people are. Well-being is a positive physical, social and mental state. It's not just the absence of pain, discomfort or incapacity. It requires the basic needs, that basic needs are met, and that individuals have a sense of purpose, that they feel able to achieve important personal goals and participate in society. It is enhanced by conditions that include supportive personal relationships, strong and inclusive communities, good health, financial and personal security, rewarding employment, and a healthy and attractive environment. The government wants to improve the well-being of the nation as they see a direct link between well-being and improved social and health care outcomes. For example, there is a huge opportunities to improve health and well-being in England and the UK in general. People living in the poorest areas, for example, die on average 7 years earlier than people living in rich areas, and have higher rates of mental illness, disability, harm from alcohol, drugs and smoking, and obviously poor well-being. So tackling these issues head on and understanding and realizing the inequalities in our society is hugely important for the well-being and public health agenda in the UK. Okay, so in summary, we've covered a lot of different things, and this lecture is particularly long because it's really important foundation information for the rest of the module. And it's important you understand what prevention means, but also what intervention approaches there are in relation to prevention, as well as later intervention. I know it gets a little bit confusing when we talk about these terms because they sound similar and so on. But generally, okay, prevention is preferable overall as an approach. This is when universal approaches are more likely used and aim to improve and foster protective factors among peoples, especially children, as they are the most at risk, and negative early childhood experiences can have the most long-lasting negative effects. So intervention approaches, pure intervention approaches, are also important, but they can have preventative agendas. So that's where we talk about prevention interventions, and they have more universal approaches. They are typically used to deal with problems that already exist rather than trying to prevent them. So intervention, pure intervention approaches tend to be the more targeted approach, not less likely to be the universal approach. So it is complex, okay, and obviously the lecture illustrates that. It demonstrates the complexity. So it's really important you do go back and look at the lecture, listen to it and take notes, because both prevention and intervention approaches overlap, but it does help to distinguish between them like we have just now in the summary. Okay, right, I hope it's been useful for you. This is just a little overview of what's coming up in Seminar 4. I have sent it round by email as well to you guys. And Activity 3 is the where we draw upon your home activity that was set in Seminar 3 last week. Okay? So, I hope you're looking forward to Seminar. I always do, because you're a great bunch of students and you really are doing very well and engaging in conversation and discussion. Here are some really useful links to web pages and some papers, and then you've got a good reading list that you don't have to read everything, but these are some useful reading for your assignments. Okay, right. Thanks a lot for your attention. I hope it's been an enjoyable lecture. Like I said, the future lectures won't be as long as this one, but I just wanted you to have a real firm foundation to work upon for the rest of the module. And I'll see you at the seminar this week. Thank you. Bye.